Good morning. I guess first off, I want to start off, unfortunately, today, I guess it's August 15th, our press conference here. I want to begin by just saying it's very unfortunate what happened this morning. Obviously, we had a bicyclist who was killed in an accident on eastbound Cervantes Street right by the Bayou Tahar Bridge. Happened somewhere around 3:15 this morning. We know that somebody around 3:30 had stopped and noticed the individual had been hit at this particular time. We are still there investigating all the things on it, trying to find clues as to who may have hit the bicyclist. At this time, if you know of anything out there, PPD would greatly appreciate if you'd share any information if you have. They're still working through everything else, but if somebody else happened to see something or know something, please contact PPD, as they would very much appreciate that. It's an unfortunate thing to happen, and it's certainly one of those things which we're trying to solve and resolve and make things safer. So this certainly comes as sadness, and I know that right now they're working hard. I've talked with Deputy Chief Chrisman. I saw emails from Chief and other officers. They were certainly working that one. So that will continue to go forward, and they'll be continuing to investigate. Last week, I did want to recognize a couple things that happened last week and over the weekend. First off, good to see Amy Miller and the team back. Amy, thank you very much. You weren't there, but we certainly accepted on your behalf a recognition for the Distinguished Business Partner of the Year award that the City of Pensacola got for the United Way. I know you've been very active. I've certainly supported. We've done great things with Day of Caring. We've raised a lot of money through our campaigns, workforce campaigns for United Way. It's a great organization, and I think so many things that the city does to try to participate in it and really create leadership opportunities in it. Thank you very much for the leadership you provide, Amy, and appreciate that. And thank you to all of our team members out there. We got a really good team focused on that in our workplace giving. So again, certainly appreciate all of the people at the City of Pensacola who participated in that, and it was a well-earned award. On Saturday night, we had the Civicon night at the Blue Wahoos. I know that Councilman Moore was there with his family, and we were recognized there. I certainly enjoyed being a part of it. It was good to see a lot of people and the things that are going on. It's hard to believe Civicon is 5 years in and continuing to bring new ideas, new things for us to think about in ways that that we can help our community and look at it. For us to live in a community that's happening from the private sector, it certainly is nice. It allows us and our staff to participate in new ideas and create new things, which we're working on all the time. So in implementing for our city to make it better. So it's great to have that event, and the event at the Wahoos was pretty nice. Not to mention the Wahoos ended up winning big over Birmingham Barons, so it was a good night all the way around. Fireworks, so it was a good night all the way around. Also, yesterday we opened the America's First Settlement ribbon cutting for that trail. Very much appreciate the vision there of Michael Cairo to put something together. It's very similar to what Boston has done. I did that years ago, probably over 30 years ago. Participated and walked that one, the Freedom Trail. It's very similar to that. It is exciting. I know they have other ideas. We have a lot of people ask, well, why can't we have one in North Hill? Or I know that Councilwoman Broughton has wanted to do one over in the Belmont Developers area, and I think so much of the things that Michael mentioned yesterday, those are exactly the things we'd like to do. I think he's got 4 trails already in the process of trying to set up. One of them in North Hill, one of them in Old East Hill, one of them Belmont Developers, and the other one sort of a maritime trail along the waterfront here. So I do expect over time that this thing will continue to grow, and I think it really gives the opportunity for people to come here and see things. And it's easy to say, I'm a map guy, so I get it, but my wife is totally, she needs like a line in the ground that tells you where to walk, and you see all the things and you run into them. So everybody's a little bit different, and I think this will provide something for everyone to be able to see the different parts of our history, and I think it'll really be an inclusive history. Certainly the downtown one already is that way, but I think when we bring on additional loops and chances to get into other parts of our community, it will certainly do that. So excited by that, excited to see where that goes. It was a nice event yesterday. There were a lot of people out, a lot more than I thought. It was just great to see downtown so vibrant. I happened to run into somebody who I went to high school with who was back in town and just saw that stuff going and saw me and came up and she was in town seeing her parents. But it was just kind of amazing, you know, when you see people and they're like, wow, see what's going on in Pensacola, the vibrancy, and to see what's going on, because not a lot of downtowns have that kind of activity on a Sunday afternoon. So again, it's exciting to see. These are the things we continue to do about trying to bring vibrancy into our community, and we're going to continue to do that. This week, City Council will have a meeting. The agenda conference in CRA will be today at 3:30. The regular City Council meeting will be at 5:30. Also, this is a reminder to take your resident satisfaction survey. We are conducting the annual resident satisfaction survey. City residents are asked to complete the survey online at uwf.edu//HOS resident survey or by phone at 850-495-2666 by Friday, September 9th. Residents should have received a postcard in the mail to complete the survey, so we hope you'll take us up on that. I see in the back we've already got one of the Brian Wire's already showing us we've got a thing in the back. So there's a postcard there. Just take your postcard and fill it out, or call in, get on online and do the survey, or call the number. The Community Maritime Day Dock Marina, we had some things we worked on over. We found some additional information out. That Day Dock contract was executed on June 21st, 2022, with a notice to proceed of August 1. The contract is approximately $1.6 million. However, we had hoped that we'd be under construction and have that thing finished, but unfortunately, because of things with supply side, the main dock components have been ordered, but will not be scheduled for delivery until December. Still, that should still allow us, in talking with the team last week, we still should be able to meet project completion by the spring of 2023. So boat season next year, we'll have a place for you to dock in downtown Pensacola. So that's good. We would have loved it to happen a little sooner, but obviously the problem was ordering parts and everything else once we got the contract signed. So again, those parts and the whole dock delivery should be in by December is what we're getting word this past week. So we wanted to update you and let you know what's going on. The next Mayor's Neighborhood Cleanup is set for Saturday, August 27th. This area will be August 27th, will be east of Spanish Trail and north of Summit Boulevard. This includes Bay Cliff, Lava Lake, Gaborone, Bohemia, and the surrounding neighborhoods off of Scenic Highway. Please see the cleanup map for details to confirm where you live. This is also the one that allows you to place a number of different eligible items in the curb free of pickup. If you have questions about what those eligible items are, visit us at cityofpensacola.com. Again, FDOT is to host a public meeting on North Palafox Street resurfacing improvements. FDOT will hold a hybrid public meeting concerning resurfacing on North Palafox Street from Cervantes to State Road 296 Brent Lane on Tuesday, August 16th from 5:30 to 6:30. The project includes the section of Palafox Street from Cervantes to Scott Street, which is what we refer to at the city as the Palafox Street Diet. Citizens are encouraged to attend the virtual meeting at nwflroads.com /virtual meetings. Those who are able to participate are unable to participate virtually may attend in person at Spencer Bibbs right there on 2005 North 6th Avenue. So we hope you will take a look and see what's going on. We're excited about getting that done. It's a much larger project that again goes all the way up to Brent Lane, but our section is where we're doing going to be doing the the diet, and we're very excited about that. We think that will be helping us to make things safer for bikes and pedestrians. That's sort of what we've got here. I know there are a number of things that happened last week. Certainly will be more than happy to speak to those. Just, I know some of the things, obviously, at the port, we are continuing our work with Streamline Boats. They still have an option they still have an ability to do the things they need to do to come in compliance and everything with their lease. I don't see us necessarily altering any of those things. They either will make those dates or they won't make those dates. From that standpoint, we were getting nothing from the lease of that property beforehand. If it doesn't work out, we do have opportunities now. We got a number of things that are occurring that are encouraging there. One of those things that I do think is going to happen here very shortly is we should have a Triumph request coming forward by the 1st of September that will be basically looking at taking a portion of that northern part and creating some stuff that would be offices, research opportunity, marine research, and things that would back up to the very northern end. We also would have space in there for 2 warehouses that can be either inside or outside of the fence line, potentially depending on what those users want to do. And so from our standpoint, we continue to see more and more warehouse being used. And like I said, if something happens and we do get that warehouse back where Streamline Boats was going to be, we have use right now. In fact, that's why we need to be pursuing toward new additional warehouses in the port area. Again, the newer ones, that one will always be inside the fence line. The newer ones could be inside or outside depending on how we partner. Certainly one of those things we think would be perfectly good for something like a research sailing area, such as can be partnered with American Magic and the New York Yacht Club there. These are things we're looking into the future is what we can do with those things. I think the future for the port is bright. There's a lot of opportunity, different things, and the more we can put research stuff on there, the better we will be. But we're looking at a whole host of, we're even talking to people now about some warehouses space that's non-traditional port use. So, we're totally looking everything out there sort of open and evaluating, and I think when we get the new plan coming here September 1, we'll have good things planned for the port. So that's kind of where we are on that, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Yes?
Start out with the port, and this was from our news desk regarding the Blue Origin that was there, Jackman, whatever you want to call it. I guess we're hearing that maybe it's either going to be sold for scrap or something else.
Yeah.
I think the question is, were there any remaining obligations to the city? Was that fulfilled? Any contract that they possibly have?
I mean, they were there longer than expected. They certainly did more than what they were expected they would do. For some time now, they have chosen to go a different route. It was not related to the port. It was not related to our tenant that was working on the ship. But they've simply made some different decisions that they want to do about what they want to collect. And I think they just figured out the boat was not the right thing they wanted to do. Again, those things happen. They make those decisions. We move on from there, and it opens up a new berth for us, which we've missed on some opportunities because we've had them there. It was a good thing to have, but we also have turned down opportunities that we could have worked through with having it there. So obviously not having it there, we'll look, and we think the port has new opportunities. I don't know if Amy, if you want to speak to anything on that otherwise, but it's something we knew it was going to leave at some point. I was a little bit surprised it left during hurricane season. So I thought it was probably going to wait a couple more months, but I guess they decided to move forward, and I wish them the safest trip they can have across there. But that was a little bit that was interesting time to move it. But I'll let you speak to that.
Thank you, Mayor. Amy Miller, Deputy City Administrator for Administration and Enterprises. Yes, the Blue Origin vessel was under contract with the port's tenant, Offshore Inland Marine, for vessel modification overhaul to convert it from a cargo ship into a rocket landing pad, basically a floating rocket landing pad. Originally, it was supposed to be in port for about a year to a year and a half. It's been here almost 3 years. At some point, it was always expected to leave. The reason it left has changed. Blue Origin made business decisions to go in a different route with their rocket program, and so that vessel was no longer needed to support their rocket program. So they're doing whatever they're going to do with it, scrap it, sell it. That's a business decision they will make. But it left the port on Sunday. And as the mayor mentioned, it was here longer than expected. The port made about 3 times as much money off of it as originally planned. And it opens up, restores 20% of our berth space back to being able to be marketed to other vessel opportunities. So everything went great, except that Blue Origin just changed their business model.
Yeah, I think from that standpoint, we would have liked to have been more involved if they had been in boats. But this is like when you're BCR or Beta, and I guess barges are going to be better than boats at this particular time. So that was a decision made. But I think at the same time, it opens stuff up that we've missed opportunities on for other things. So from that standpoint, I think we're still proceeding forward with everything we've got. And again, warehouse space there is gotten tight on the port, but you know, we will see what happens as we move forward.
Changing topics then, apparently Commissioner Burgosh mentioned on his show Thursday, kind of nixed the idea of a city-county meeting on homelessness. Is that accurate as far as you know, or any thoughts around that?
I mean, we're out there. We're still trying to. We had something. We were asked about it. We put something together. We sent it to them. My understanding is that the county internally wanted to meet first to figure out what their position was before they meet with the city. So I don't know that meeting has been totally pulled. I don't know if it has or hasn't. But I mean, again, it wasn't by us. If the county has decided to do something else, what we had heard was they were looking to get together and figure out for themselves what they wanted to do, and then we're going to meet. Lawrence, have you heard anything different? So we're still planning to meet. I mean, and we also think, you know, I clearly think if we're going to really solve this and position things where we can actually do things for the homeless and also help our neighborhoods, other things, and figure out how to work together as a city collectively, we're going to need other jurisdictions to participate in it. The city cannot handle this all alone. We've been saying this for 3 years now. We really need somebody else to participate in it. So if that's what they want to do, we think it'd be a great time. I know they've set aside $4 million, and I don't know that they have a plan yet, but we definitely believe they need to figure out what they want to do. With that said, I've said here many times, I think that transitional housing, I think when you look at other models, when you look at the city of Tallahassee, Leon County, Leon County is really the lead. The city of Tallahassee is simply along for the ride, and they have a shelter, they have transitional housing, and they have longer term housing. And again, I think we're sort of handling the shelter, but we need somebody else to step up and come into that position to do something. And I welcome that, and I look forward to having the meeting. But it was my understanding they wanted to meet first to figure out what they wanted to do. So I'm not aware that it was gone altogether. I am aware that they want to take some time and figure out what they want to do.
Mayor, on the agenda this week, there's another extension for the scooter program for a month. What's the story there?
Well, it's a little bit more complicated than that, Jim. It's that we are looking at moving forward with the program, but moving forward with one vendor. We will be looking. We have made a recommendation to cancel with one vendor and move forward with the other vendor, and then try to take a couple of months. What we said to then evaluate a plan for, come forward with something that would actually have a better financial plan and return to the city and show what we can do, what we want to do for our walkability standpoint. And so I think right now we just want to figure out from the pilot whether this is workable. I think what we found out is that we like the stand-up, I mean, we like the sit-down scooters better than the stand-up scooters. They seem to have we have fewer problems with those being inappropriately driven or used. I think they're a little bit easier for people to understand the public, and I think we saw better parking consistency with those. It sort of led to choices that we made. So we're bringing that forward. We hope that it will give us a little bit of time now to actually focus on the on both, not only the agreement that we have to make sure that it financially is the right thing to do for the city as well, but we also will be looking probably to expand, I think, our parking spaces. I think we're going to talk about adding, I see everybody nodding at me back in Public Works, we're going to be adding about another 15 to 20 corrals or so in the downtown area and other places. I think we definitely want to move to more of a forced parking in those corral spots, and it's just really identifying and figuring those out as we move forward. What are the right places to have those? Other than that, we think it can work, and what I've seen more and more is better. I've seen a lot better usage and riding. I was down there yesterday afternoon with Casey at the thing. I saw several people on the sit-down scooters in the street, riding them in the street, not on the sidewalks. You know, we seem to be getting better compliance with parking. So these are a variety of things that we're working with. Interesting thing, I went to dinner last night and was talking to a couple people that had said they'd seen them more in East Hill, and as I explained to somebody, I said, well, that's a good thing. I mean, if somebody drives all the way out there and they didn't drive a car into downtown, that solves parking. It solves a lot of different things for us, and it helps us leave those spaces open for other people that want to use them. So, like I've said before, it's not that we were just wanting to be scooters. I mean, we wanted to have scooters. That wasn't the whole issue. The whole issue is we want to find a way to deal with parking issues, how to stop cars from ever coming into downtown. If we could do that, we would be successful and give people other options. So, you know, we'd love it if they bike and they walk, and we see that. I think we see more things about to come online very shortly with the apartments over on Garden Street, and hopefully some additional building there in the Garden and Spring Street area. Hopefully break ground soon. You know, we hope that that we will see more people downtown that can walk and have fewer cars, and that's what we'd love to see. And then if people from outside the area nearby, like in East Hill or North Hill, if they want to drive a scooter in, that allows us to have fewer cars. So then the people from farther and farther away could use the cars. But I think that's our goal and objective with the scooters, is how do they prevent more cars from coming into downtown in the usage. And then again, just little stuff. People who are at City Hall, if they park their car, but during the day, rather than trying to go get a parking spot 3 blocks away, just get a scooter and do something else. I mean, we're certainly trying to encourage people to walk. I'm out there walking all the time, but I mean, if you want to use the scooter and you don't want to walk, that's certainly available. It's up to you, and we'd love to see those things. And we're going to be putting in more corral spots. I think that's what we want to do. So that we can create more forced parking. So that's what we want to do over the last interim, and then we really want to sign probably a contract to move forward with somebody like a VIA that has a sit-down scooter. Again, we see less problems with those. It's not that they're perfect either, but I think what we've generally seen is we've tried to be more focused on parking. We've tried to be more focused on getting people off the sidewalks and doing a variety of things. And I think as long as we keep doing that, it can be a program that can actually do the things we want it to do, which is find another way to take fewer cars and keep cars from getting in the middle of downtown.
That would be an extension of the pilot program, still not finalized.
Correct. But I mean, we when we do this extension, we're very much headed toward a final thing. I mean, this is the small extension now is just to put together a contract that will be the final contract, and that's what we want to do. And again, we really made the decision. I mean, the decision was to go with VO over Bird, but that really wasn't so much the companies in one way or the other. It was more the equipment. We liked the sit-down scooter better than the stand-up scooter, and we felt like we got better compliance with the sit-down scooter.
And this one again had to do with something that started in the county meeting last week, so correct me if any of this is wrong in premise, but somebody mentioned that people needing drug rehab now have to go to Panama City for treatment. Is that correct as far as you see? Or maybe even more broadly, with our area being ranked so high in overdoses, do you see a lack in the city or around?
I'm not sure. Well, again, I think that I don't know anything about one way or the other. I do know. I do know there may be two issues that are, but anyways, the one thing I think that is there, and I'm not sure, I'm not sure of the context because I have not heard this, but I do know one of the things is obviously, and we had somebody come speak to us about the challenges dealing with opioids. I do know that the county is going to be, there is a new task force that is coming with the money that was done in the settlements. The city is also part of that settlement. We have people in there, and therefore we have a couple people we've put on that task force as well, and that funding has to include what happens with the city. So we are going to get some of that funding. Obviously, the majority of it's going to funnel into that group that's going to the task force. We have people on there. I can't remember who the council placed on the task force, but they did have a vote on that recently. I placed former police chief Mathis on there. I certainly think law enforcement needs somebody to look at it because they're one way or another they're going to be the front line dealing with this kind of stuff one way or the other. But I do think there are, that's going to provide us what we need to do, and I hope that's going to provide funding that will allow for some type of treatment. As far as other stuff, I mean, there's totally other substance abuse kind of things here, so I don't know what they're speaking specifically to, and just not familiar with it. So we'll continue to work through some of whatever we can with that. I mean, I know part of what we gave our money, Lawrence, through the ARPA money that we gave to Lakeview is very much talking about substance abuse and getting people. So I'm not familiar that there's a limit that somebody has to go to Panama City, but if it's related to opioid, I don't know, and I just know that we're about to stand up that group, and they're gonna get some funding, and then they're gonna try to figure out how they want to, what different services they need and how they would utilize it going forward. And again, we very much we have our law enforcement and our first responders with Narcan because of the challenges. We definitely see it, and we've invested in trying to make sure they have it and they have the resources to be able to work with it. I know that's more the short-term, immediate, not a longer-term fix out of it, but I would look for things that were happening with services like Lakeview and other substance abuse programs to work that through. So if there's a problem, I will be more than happy to continue to work with people. And certainly I know with what Representative Salzman's been pushing and trying to get in mental health, I would be surprised if we didn't see more resources coming in. So I don't know what they were talking about, but those are just, I mean, those are things I know that are happening in dealing with substance issues and other things that are out there.
That's helpful.
Jim, you look like you have a question. All right, no other questions. That'll be good. Certainly, I appreciate it. Like I said, we've got a meeting today that will be good, and we've got a lot of things happening this week. So hopefully, stay tuned, and we'll look forward to being in touch.